G'day fellas and welcome to a custard game. We are spawning in, spectating one of the most anticipated players you have ever seen. This is Marine Lord's cousin, Moraine Lord. Now, Marine Lord's cousin may or may not be missing a few chromosomes, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt here because he's going to be going up against Dinky King, who is also missing a few chromosomes, but that's okay, that's how we like him. Now, before I know you guys get angry at me when I make jokes about disability, so I will just preface it by saying I'm disabled myself, so I'm allowed to. It's I just remember a meme where it's like somebody joked about like suicide at school and people got like angry at him for joking about suicide, and he's like, nah, it's okay, I've got depression. It's kind of like how when black people say the N-word. And I just lost my shit. I'm like, hold on, so you're allowed to make jokes about suicide if you've got depression? Like, it just oh god, oh god. All right, well, it's been an interesting introduction. We're a minute into this so far. We've been up, we've been down, and I guess we've finally made it back around. So spawning in on the north side of the map, we've got Dinky King, who's got one of the most beautiful monuments I've ever seen. I don't think I've seen this. You can't, dude. Abbasid villagers just love talking. Did that cancel? Or, no, you didn't cancel that. That canceled, I can tell. Look at that beautiful that monument is absolutely on point. Look at the way he's pointing and everything. What civ do you think that monument's from? I don't actually know. I would go with like maybe the French. No, it couldn't be the French. What civ has cavalry? Apart from all civs. Well, anyway, that is Dinky King. He's playing as the Abbasid dynasty. On the other side of the map, we've got Moraine Lord. We got Moraine Lord playing as the blue French. It's Moraine Lord's cousin, and he's going to be opening us up with just 2 scouts so far. So let's see exactly what he looks to get up to. 2 villagers on the gold, just sticking it out. 10 villagers on food. Very interesting, Moraine Lord. I love the name, dude, Moraine Lord. It's so good because it's like it's an actual meme, but it's like it's very close to Marine Lord, but it's it's obviously not. Now, one of the things I want to watch from Dinky is exactly how he plays in this matchup. As you guys know, Abbasid have been on the up and coming lately. We've seen them continue to move up and up and up in the tier lists, and now they've reached the point where they're actually sitting at pretty close to S tier, especially on open maps and especially on the map Lipany, which is exactly what we're playing on today. And the reason why they're so damn good on this map is because there's so many berries on this map to be had. And as you guys know, if you're gathering your food from berries, then you're not gathering them from farms. And if you're not gathering them from farms, then you haven't built those farms yet, which means you've invested those resources elsewhere. And therefore, you're doing good. So Dinky King going to be heading up with the economic wing. Going to be looking to keep a few villagers on gold, probably just enough to get fresh foodstuffs. Now, he's got 4 villagers on gold, so probably going to be going into a wheelbarrow as well. So, noting the fact that he is, so we see the mill coming down. So I'm suspecting what we're probably going to be seeing is a delayed second town center, which is definitely the new build order that comes out for the Abbasid dynasty. So it's essentially that you would go for a wheelbarrow, you'd go for fresh foodstuffs. You can see he's gathering up enough gold now for both of those, and then you would drop down a stable as soon as you're up. Now, obviously, going up against the French, you might want to think about dropping down a barracks as soon as you're up, but obviously you're going to be playing on the defensive there. I guess the other alternative is that you go for an archery range and that you look to go camels, but we'll see how he looks to play it. Typically, the composition that we've been seeing out of a lot of Abbasid players is camel archer and horseman, and so this composition works very well against pretty much everything. In fact, I don't think there's anything that it can lose to. Maybe knights is kind of the answer, but we'll see. And now looking to drop down an outpost on his berries. Not going to be dropping down a barracks, not going to be dropping down a stable just yet. Obviously, just being preemptive here, knows that he wants to keep a bit of line of sight in this position. You can see that Dinky is going to have line of sight around this corner as well, so should be pretty well covered. And now, over on the other side, Moraine Lord, we'll see exactly what he's up to. It's going to be a knight coming out for Moraine Lord. Let's take a look and see what Dinky's response to this. So just going to be chilling out, is indeed going to be going for a slow stone. So this is definitely what I expected. And now wheelbarrow coming in. Of course, we've got fresh foodstuffs coming in. But just reacting at this point in time only through outposts. So interesting position. And now also going to be going for a little bit of a back wall here. I do like this. Reduce the mobility. You know, you might get hit from this side. He might run around and then come hit you from that side. So you just put this wall up, stops them from coming through. Forces that knight to stay on this top side. So very smart move from him. But now we can see the line of sight coming out for Dinky. He's going to be pretty happy with this. A little bit of a blind spot in here, but it's kind of to be expected. You can never really get those things perfect. And now I'm going to be putting a defensive outpost on his stone as well. So looking to protect this. A bit of an investment coming in on the stone. Now, obviously, he knows that a knight will be on the way. So the sooner he gets this up, the better. He's got 7 villagers out here, so might have to make a sacrifice if the knight does come too close. But definitely the right decision, considering we're at 5 minutes 30 now, and it's going to be too late for him to be able to gather up that stone and make a run for it. So he wants to avoid being isolated. But now I'm going to be dropping down a barracks. So going up against France, it makes a lot of sense, and now you can see he pulls those villagers into the outpost so quickly. Doesn't really give an opportunity for Moraine Lord. I fucking love that name, Moraine Lord. Now not that single villager. Oh, he manages to get inside. Focus the sheep. Focus the sheep. Does he focus the sheep? Focus the sheep. Dinky, come on. Spear's going to be coming out now. So Spear's another great Abbasid unit. Obviously, they have a lot of great upgrades that you can pick up. And now we actually see the outpost picking up the upgrade. Villager does go down, first one of the game. So it picks up the arrow slits upgrade here. Very interesting that he went for this upgrade. Not something that you do regularly pick up, especially in a defensive position. Manages to pull... Where did this wolf come from? This wolf had just decided that it doesn't like gold gathering villagers, and it says, get back in your town center. I'm sick of you. And that's exactly what it does. Spear coming out, just hanging out. So that's another thing that the Abbasid can do. A really good composition is spears and camels. It might seem like an absolutely wild thing, but I assure you it's actually pretty darn good. But very defensive coming out from Dinky King. Still yet to add that second town center. Obviously not forgetting about it, though. That's one of the things is, you know, early on in Age of Empires 4, in the meta, people used to rush out a second town center. And let's say, you know, if you're playing as the Abbasid, you could get your second town center up at 4 minutes 45. I'm not even kidding you. 4 minutes 45 with fresh foodstuffs. But the problem is, if you do that, when you're playing up against Moraine Lord, Moraine Lord's going to absolutely kill you because he's going to bring in knights into your wood line. He's going to bring knights into your gold mine. He's going to hit your berries. He's going to hit you absolutely everywhere. And you're going to lose so many villagers, it's just not going to be worth it to go that second TC earlier. So what he does instead is looks to delay that second town center. And now we see Dinky King going to be working towards that 300 stone. He has indeed surpassed that already. And we'll see whether he looks to continue going up towards 600 stone. One of the things that players will do is actually look for a 3 town center boom. Now, it's always a little bit crazy, especially in a situation like this, going up against the French to be doing that. But we'll see how he looks to play it. And now we see the numbers starting to build up for Moraine Lord. I just love the name Moraine Lord. It really strikes me as being like... Can you imagine if it's like just actually a French guy who named himself like Moraine Lord? Like my name is like Moraine, and I'm like a lord. Like, I don't know, something like that. And he's just called himself Moraine Lord, and it just sounds like retarded Marine Lord. But Dinky now adding in that second town center, keeping it close to his first one. Smart move. A lot of people will make the mistake of putting it a little bit further away, and then it gets a little bit prone. The problem is if you put it away too far, you do actually get you make yourself a little bit prone to getting battering rammed. But we'll take a look at how the spawn has happened for him. So one of the things that kind of annoys me when you're playing on this map is sometimes you don't get back spawns of berries, and that's exactly what's happened. So for anybody unfamiliar with this map, Lipany, every player gets 5 spawns of berries. Speaking of 5 spawns of berries, you're going to be needing more than berries after this. Knight manages to take out another villager. I think that's the second villager that's gone down this game. So as an example, so you've got 1 patch of berries that are here, second patch over here to the left, and then you've got 3 more down in this position. Really nice spawns there for Moraine Lord. But take a look at the spawns that have happened for Dinky. Dinky's got no back berries at all. He's got 1 berries over here, which was to the side of his starting town center. And then he's got 1 berries in the front, 2 berries in the front, 3 berries in the front, 4 berries in the front. Literally every single berries for Dinky King is in the front. And Moraine Lord has got all of his berries at the back. Now, obviously you can say this one's kind of at the back or towards the side, but at the same time, when you look at the way that the map is built, it's really not. Whereas Moraine Lord, it's going to be very easy for him to adjust to these berries and to come down into this position. So just having a very fortunate spawn. And really that's part of the reason why typically players aren't happy. You know what? That's a topic I probably shouldn't get into right now. But essentially, the issue is map spawns. The generation of maps is very inconsistent and very unfair a lot of the time. And this is an example of that. So you can see like a very safe back berries here, even more safe berries down to the south, and yet up towards this position here for Dinky King, who obviously likes berries, wants berries, eats berries. You know, it's his favorite pastime, but no berries. You know, a berry spawn could have gone here. A berry spawn could have gone, probably not there. Maybe where these trees are, the berries could have gone. But he's got nothing in the back. So it means he's got to be a little bit more proactive with his movements, play a little bit more aggressive. But now Dinky going to be looking to push out, obviously going up against that battering ram. Now, we see that a forward villager just going to be hanging out here, probably going to be dropping down a lumber camp shortly for Moraine Lord. If he can rub his two brain cells together, we'll see what he does. And now looking to come and put down an outpost. That's his decision. He's made it, and now he's going to be working back towards the other direction. Battering ram going to probably be looking to hit this town center. We'll see how he looks to play it. Doesn't really have critical numbers yet of archers. That's the thing, though. Ideally wants to be hitting about 11 to 12 archers just so he can start one-shotting villagers. Because without that, he's going to be in a difficult position. But speaking of difficult positions, Moraine Lord now continuing to get pushed back. Huge mass starting to build here from Dinky King. So not going for the spearmen, or not going for the composition with camel archers and horsemen. Rather, just going to be going the classic spearman archer composition. So loving it so far from Dinky. He's cleaning up completely. Looking very good. Focusing down the archers of the enemy with his own archers. Battering ram looking a little bit confused. Probably doing the exact same thing that Moraine Lord does in the morning and wonders, how do I put my socks on again? And it is just, it's not a pretty day for the battering ram. He does go down. And Dinky King got to be looking safe, or clear for takeoff at this point. So at this point, Dinky's got two options. Number one, boom like a madman and mass up in the second age. Number two is think about castle. You've just had a great victory in the second age. You've completely destroyed your enemy. You're up 29 military population to 11. It's going to take some time before your enemy has got a military force capable of taking you on. So what do you do with your time? That is the question. Do you look to get up to the next stage? Always a good option. Or keep in mind, for Dinky, all he really cares about is just booming. This is all he needs to do. He's got 2 town centers. How many does his enemy have? Well, his enemy's only got 1. So as long as Dinky has got 2 town centers and his enemy has got 1, then he always has a win condition. And as long as he doesn't die before then, as long as these villagers don't die before then, one of them already going down, then he's going to be okay. So I would definitely advocate in this position, if I'm Dinky, don't think about going up just yet until you scout out what your enemy's up to and if they're continuing to add military. Because if they're going up, then maybe you can probably think about going up yourself. But in the interim, just keep adding in military, and that's exactly what he does. Adds in the double barracks. Got the double or triple archery range now, so he is really going ham on this stuff. You can see he's working his way through that wood line. He's got a second wood line he's going to be able to move on to as well. And now going to be looking to outpost and mill up. And this is part of what I was talking about earlier, is that you're going to have to be very aggressive when you've got a spawn like this, because you do have deer at the back, but you don't have a lot of berries. And deer are going to offer you probably nowhere near as much food. So this deer, 2350. These berries here, 2, 4, 6, 8. That's 4,000 food right there. So almost double the food the berries offer the Abbasid dynasty. But now villagers managed to make it inside the outpost. You can see arrow slits going to be coming through. Very curious decision that he goes for these arrow slits in this situation. The reason why I find it curious that he's going for arrow slits is that I normally think of outposts here as a defensive garrison building. That's all it's for. It's just for garrisoning, nothing else. You're not really you don't care too much about whether damage gets done by that. It's just basically about doing that. So I'd love to hear Dinky's thoughts about why exactly he goes for that. But now, speaking of going for that, Moraine Lord might be going for something else a little bit, if he's not careful. Going to be dropping down a market. Blacksmith also down. He was going for that castle edge, you can see. But Dinky looking to actually punish his enemy and finish the game right here. We talked about it a bit earlier when it comes to win conditions. Dinky up about 11 villagers at the moment, obviously losing a fair bit back towards his own base. But now you see that there are units posturing. I say units posturing. There they are, around the base of Dinky, trying to draw him back towards that base, and that looks like he might be able to be successful now. Now the issue is that Moraine Lord, God, that's such a good name. The problem is that if Moraine Lord gets up to Castle Age, he can get out of Mangonel, and if he gets out of Mangonel, then Dinky is going to be in trouble, because Dinky has... Poor Abbasid villager. Those Abbasid villagers... Can you imagine betting an Abbasid villager? God, that would be... It would be, let's just put it this way, the entire town would know. You know, you'd be doing it in Lipany and Highview would know about it. It would just be, Amazing. But Dinky King now pushing in, and this is sort of what I was talking about, is that with Dinky's mass right here, a single mangonel could really destroy his hopes and dreams. Now, obviously, you'd probably want to box it if you did do that, so putting a nice little box of walls. But Dinky looking incredibly strong, and indeed up to 130 population in Age 2 alone. So a lot of military mass here, a lot of villagers behind this as well. So he's very happy with this. Now, third age coming through for Moraine Lord. Let's see what he looks to do now. If I'm Moraine Lord, I would be looking to trade out. Now, he did have a market somewhere. At least, no, he dropped a market here and he must have cancelled it. Siege Workshop needs to be coming down for him. Look at the Guild Workshop, nice, Guild Hall, nice and safe. But the big thing is like having men-at-arms and a mangonel is really going to help him out here. And you can see the men-at-arms coming out, but it's just one man-at-arms. It's just a man-at-arms at this point. In fact, it is just a man-at-arms. But he manages to spawn it out the back of the barracks, and now we've got a little bit of a ram dance going on. Dinky loves a little bit of a ram dance, and you know who else loves a ram dance? Moraine Lord. When the rams dance around his town center and send him back to the place where he belongs. Voulez-vous coucher avec toi? Oh god, I think I butchered that so terribly. I apologize to all my French speakers. I think that was... I don't actually know. I think it's from the song. Voulez-vous coucher avec toi? Little Lady Marmalade. Do, 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 do. Now I've got to go listen to that song. That is a classic. That is an old school classic right there. Lady Marmalade coming at you live. But Dinky looking incredibly strong. The main thing that I'm concerned about, as I mentioned, was that mangonel. But we see that... Is that a stone tower? I don't know whether to tell if this is stone or not. But still yet to add a siege workshop by the looks of it. He's got a single barracks. He's got a single barracks and a school of cavalry and a house. He's getting completely housed. He's sitting at 64 of 50 right now. It's not pretty. Going to be losing 2 more houses. You can see he's got absolutely nothing. Moraine Lord looking to be in a bit of strain, sitting on food as well. He's definitely panicking at this point with too many battering rams in his base, and now manages to pull himself up. It's definitely reminding me of that meme where, you know, like his population is just getting drowned out at the moment. He's managed to take out another house, but still manages to put down another one. You can see the emergency houses coming up over towards the left-hand side here. But Dinky now making his way around. I think this might be a good game. I don't think there's any way Moraine Lord's coming out of it. He throws down another barracks, but it's like, at what point? Like, what assistance do you think a single man-at-arms is going to do for you here, Moraine Lord? You got to rub those 2 brain cells together a little bit harder. Now we see the men-at-arms getting focused down by the archers. They've got that +1, so they're going to be doing an extra point of damage here and doing a basic 2-shot of those, and huge mass now really beginning to build for Dinky King. We'll check quickly and see he's got up to 30 archers, 20 spears, and manages to hold on at this point in time. Still not looking terrible, but I can't help but feel a single mangonel in this situation could have been amazing. Poor Moraine Lord. Just didn't think about it. Dinky King on the other side of things, he's going to be aging up to the next stage, going up with the culture wing, so not going to be opting for the military wing, which is quite common, quite popular. You know what? It's not. It's not at all. Stop trying to make the military wing happen, Drongo. It's not going to happen. Both of the knights go down. 4 battering rams remain. Still at relatively good health. 1 battering ram sits at quite a low health, but he's located the next house. He's located the next barracks. He's going to turn his attention towards the villagers. Men-at-arms comes out. Man-at-arms. Not men. Man. And focuses down at the barracks. You can see the villagers trying their best to siege this down. He's not having a good time, though. A little bit of a stock take right now, just to clarify. 46 villagers for Moraine Lord and 79 for Dinky King. So Dinky King definitely looking very happy in the second age. Huge economic lead, huge military lead. Manages to hold on, manages to get that second town center down. And I feel like as the French in this matchup, maybe it would have been a good idea to actually just go for a second town center yourself and then put the burden back on that Abbasid player. I don't know if that's the correct play, but I definitely feel like, you know, just going 1 town center against the Abbasid, you kind of, it's always difficult. It's always difficult. Let's just put it that way. But now it looks like Dinky King gets up to the next stage. We'll check on his production. We'll see exactly what he's up to as Moraine Lord tries once again. You know, someone's just thrown out a theory. This could be Moraine Lord's younger brother, Moraine Lord. And maybe he's just borrowing Moraine Lord's account. But we can see that the archer's going to be making their way back, but at the same time, it's a complete cleanup on number 6, and Moraine Lord taps out. He heads back to the drawing board, and not just with his crayons, but with his complete idea, his concept, his understanding of Age of Empires 4. Good game over to Dinky, well played, and unfortunate stuff for Moraine Lord.